Welcome to By the Books, the podcast helping business owners navigate the complex world of business, payroll, tax, and bookkeeping. Now to your hosts, Lindsay Klein, president of Sakline Bookkeeping, and Jeffrey Gonzalez, president of Payroll Guru.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. This is Lindsay Klein with Sakline, honest, accurate bookkeeping performed on time.
And I'm your co-host, Jeffrey Gonzalez with Payroll Guru. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
You're feeling better? Because last time you were not so much. And I had to do this by myself, and I was very sad.
Yeah, I know. How did it go?
It went well, actually. Yeah. Tolson was a good guest, so.
Good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I
carried the show for us, Jeffrey.
I was just going to say, I feel bad because I made you carry the show for us, all because I'm such a big part of it.
You are, Jeffrey. You're an important part of this show.
I appreciate you.
And you were missed.
Yeah.
So.
I missed you too. It's been, hasn't been too long, but fortunately I only missed one episode, so.
Yes. So we're good. We're back on track, everyone.
Back on track.
And we've got big news.
Yeah.
Jeffrey has come on board with Sakline. I have snatched this man up.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, finally a woman wanted to snatch me up.
Yeah. So I've known for a long time that I want to do business with you pretty much forever.
We've been doing business together really since we first met.
But it's kind of like we've had our separate things, and wherever those should meet. But now it's like we're together.
We're in it. Yeah.
So, and you're acting really as CEO now of Sakline and letting me do what I love. Which is the sales and like going and talking to people and,
Yeah.
And I think it's working well because you're covering the operational stuff.
Which is what you don't like.
Sales stuff.
Yeah.
I do not. I can do it.
Of course.
I've, obviously done it.
Yeah. You're a great leader.
But when I want to just focus on what excites me, it's going to be on the sales side and, growth and business development and that stuff.
I don't know if I've told you this. Because I have been in the sales, basically been in sales my whole life, really. I took a small hiatus for 4 or 5 years where I was in leadership and the customer service operations side of things. And, of course, I've ran my own businesses before. But then I was in sales solely for probably the immediate 5 years before this. And so I got to say, I'm really loving having the opportunity to work with the team and kind of dig into, the operations of a company.
I'm so glad.
I really have been liking it. Like, even when we talk about doing, sales events and stuff, I'm like, I'm fine and I enjoy doing that. But I almost enjoy, meeting with the team on a regular basis and kind of diving in and problem solving. Like, it's really scratching an itch that I didn't know I had for a while. So it's nice. Yeah. Yeah, it has been nice.
You're so good at it.
Thank you.
I will readily admit you are far superior to me in culture building and encouraging the team. You're their biggest cheerleader.
Well, thank you.
And so I'm so glad you're doing that because I need to work on that better. My method is very much to the point. Here we've got a problem, let's solve the problem, right? I have to consciously think I need to add fluff to this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be fluffy. Fluffy, Lindsay. Be fluffy. I'm going to get you a t-shirt now that says be fluffy.
It reminds me of Despicable Me.
Yeah.
So fluffy!
I'm glad I'm not the only adult that knows that, by the way.
I love that clip. It's one of the best movie clips of all time.
So you've seen my dog before, right?
I have.
Big, fluffy dog.
Yeah, and I don't like Fluffy in real life. I like Fluffy in theory.
Me too.
But
I love Fluffy.
No.
It's everywhere.
I'm out.
I don't know if you know this, but we were talking on the phone, right, when I pulled up in the parking lot, and I said I'm coming in, and then about 5 minutes later I actually came in. It's because I'm lint rolling myself everywhere, on my head and down my back and all that. Anyway, but all of that to say is that I have actually a big, fluffy, white husky for people who don't know.
My daughter loves
And your daughter loves my dog. But what I love is when I take her in public, I will have young children will legit run up to me and hug her and say, "She's so fluffy, I'm gonna die." They quote the movie all the time. And I mean, I hear it on a regular basis. Little kids will say that about my dog, and it's my favorite thing ever. So that's why I know the quote so well, because they say it all the time. And she is fluffy, so it works.
Yes, she is. I see it in your car.
Yeah. Yeah, we have fluff everywhere.
Yeah. I refuse to get into Jeffrey's car.
Yeah. In
I
fact,
take my car everywhere.
we do. Well, your car is nicer than mine, too. But when I do eventually get another car, she's not allowed within 100 feet of the thing. Seriously.
You'll have to keep this
Oh, I
car
will.
just as the
Oh,
dog
yeah.
car.
Yes, it is the Furmobile, and it will remain the Furmobile. I don't even think that I could get all of the hair out of it if I wanted to at this point.
I don't think you could.
Let's be honest, like, it is ruined. So, for those of you contemplating a husky, don't do it. It's not worth it. You think it's going to be cute? It's not. It's not. I love my dog more than anything, but it's not worth it. Anyway, all of that to say, fluff in leadership style.
Yes. Yeah, but in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
Not one of those blow your smoke up your
Yeah,
kind of
course.
ways.
Yeah.
The good fluff. The fluff that makes people feel good about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I take pride in that, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No. And I think it's going well. I think we complement each other very well. So I'm excited to see where we go.
Yeah.
We're already going places.
And I'm really excited to talk about that today.
We're finally going to get to the point of this episode.
Because some really awesome things have come up recently. Let's talk about our friend here that you knew before
Well, yeah.
I even got involved.
We meet with CPAs. Well, me more than you now, but we meet with CPAs constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the main people we target, if you will, in networking because it's such a great synergy relationship.
Yeah.
They like to focus on tax and consulting usually, and not so much on bookkeeping. We only do bookkeeping.
Yeah.
We stay in our lane. We don't do anything related to income taxes. So it's a great synergy relationship because we need people in our network that are great tax people that we can refer because our clients ask us constantly for referrals for that. So we need great people in our network to send them to, and then they need people to send bookkeeping business to. So it works great. So pretty much most of my week, it's talking to CPAs. And I've talked to a lot. And I kept hearing the same pain points over and over and over in different ways, and different ones highlighted with different people. But overall, pretty much the same 4 to 5 issues kept coming up.
What are they? What are these issues?
So, well, let's talk about this one CPA you brought up.
Yeah.
Like in particular, because she pretty much had all of them. And I guess where we really got motivated to problem solve this in a tangible way, like how can we actually package this up and say, here is the solution to all these pain points, was because this CPA told us, I have almost $1 million, or I had almost $1 million in bookkeeping revenue that's now been cut in half of what it used to be, just simply because we have not been offering the services that we should, the quality that we should for what we're charging. And of course, my ears perked up when she just kind of slid in there in the middle of our conversation. Maybe I should just give it all to you. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah.
I will take care of this for you.
Yeah.
But then her problem is that's almost $500,000 in revenue
Lost.
that I would be handing to someone else. So obviously this was not an easy choice for her to make, to just say, here, just take it and get it out of my hair.
Exactly.
But if she kept it, this is what she was groveling with. If I keep it, I've still got this problem where our bookkeeping department is in disarray. I've hired these people. I pay them a lot. And she told us what she's paying.
Yeah, there's a lot.
These people in this department.
She's highly paid.
Pays well. I told her, I said, I need to come work for you. I'm in the wrong business here. Or not the wrong business, but I need to come work for you and do what I'm doing. But so she's paying them well, but they're not putting out the work that they should be. And she's frustrated because she's more focused on the consulting aspect. That's what she loves to do. is meet with her clients and strategize and consult and help them get to where they need to be business-wise and tax-wise. She does not want to be bogged down by bookkeeping issues. That's why she pays her people, so she doesn't have to deal with it. But here now, half of her revenue has gone out the door because it hasn't been well managed, and she doesn't really know what is the solution here.
Yeah.
And she acknowledges that it needs some good oversight, some good processes, some good systems, but she doesn't want to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
So this is the problem she's presenting to us.
Yep.
I am tempted just to hand it over to you to let you handle it, but I also want to keep my revenue. She was also concerned about her employees.
Yeah.
Because even though she acknowledges, maybe they're not doing everything they're supposed to be doing, but I still love them. She's very passionate about taking care of her employees.
Yes.
And so that was another thing is, I don't want to just put them out on the street because I gave all the business to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another concern. But also I want to make sure we're giving good service to our clients. Like she felt very strongly she wanted her brand, her name to stand for quality.
Yes.
And she acknowledged, okay, this department is not putting out the work, the standard that I should be maintaining across the board. So this is essentially the pain point. So meeting number 2, both of us went to, and we went in person this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting across from her, and I highlighted all her pain points.
You wrote that down?
I wrote them down.
Yeah.
And I said, if we were able to come up with solutions to solve all these pain points for you, would you want to work with us? She said, absolutely.
Yeah.
I said, all right, we're going to go to the drawing board, and we're going to figure this out for you.
Yep.
And I remember we went straight to Starbucks after that.
Right across the street. Yeah.
And I had like a piece of notebook paper or something in my purse.
Yep.
And I just started scribbling stuff.
Yeah.
And like, okay, how do we fix this problem? And I've heard these pain points over and over and over. And I, to a degree, I'm solving these pain points for CPAs, but it's usually just a straight referral relationship,
Exactly.
right? Just send us, your business and we'll take care of it. Send us your clients or your prospective clients. We'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got you.
Yeah.
And we'll put out the quality work, but they're losing the revenue in that case,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So now that here we have a potential for $500,000 of revenue on the table, I'm like, Jeffrey, we got to solve this. We got to figure out how to solve this problem, right? So let's talk about that. Do you want to present the different options that
Yeah.
came up with and presented to the CPA? Because basically we have, 5 different
We have 5 different levels of options. So the first level is pretty much what we've always had, a straight referral. We get the referral from the CPA or the tax preparer, and that's it. Hands off for them. We take care of it. They get the reports and financials they need to do taxes, and they don't got to worry about it anymore. So that's
And I
one.
will say, even in that scenario, we collaborate with the tax preparer always.
totally.
I mean, even if we don't know the tax preparer and we didn't get the referral from the tax preparer, we're still collaborating. We're still sending them the monthly reports. We're still making sure they have access to QuickBooks. We're still making sure that they're in the loop.
Yeah. Yeah, we just try to make it the easiest part of, they shouldn't have to worry about the books. If there's a bookkeeper, they shouldn't have to worry about the books. That's the point. So we pride ourselves on that. But if they don't want to just do a straight referral, we have a couple of other options that we've kind of set up. So the next option from there would be a white label situation. So from there, they bring on the client. They keep the client as their client. And we go in and we do the work on the back end. The client doesn't even necessarily know that we're involved, but we are their bookkeeping department under their name.
So from the client standpoint, nothing changed. They're still getting their bill from XYZ CPA firm, and they don't even know that somebody that's not part of XYZ CPA firm is doing the work on the back end.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as we've experienced now having done this, logistically, we've got to maneuver through some
It is the most difficult one.
Because we have to figure out, how do we merge? We have a set of systems and softwares. You have a set of systems and softwares. How do we merge this together and figure out, okay, how is the communication with the client going to go? Are we doing that under your CPA? If we send an email, are we doing it under your CPA email? And if so, how do we get access to that email? So there's logistical things we have to work out in that scenario.
And sometimes they use a software in-house, right? They have a document collecting, maybe they have a client communication software. So That is, in my opinion, probably the most difficult one, is because there's so many variables that we kind of got to work through. But it really works well for them if their biggest concern is not losing revenue, is that they don't, right? I mean, they're definitely not making as much as they would if they had an in-house bookkeeper that they had to manage.
Right.
But
because we are an outsourced solution.
yeah,
And we are most concerned about quality, accuracy. So we have multiple levels of review in our process. So we are never going to be the cheapest.
yeah, nor do we need to be.
But
Yeah.
they can charge to their client whatever they need to charge to still make their margins
Yeah,
on top of what we're charging.
exactly.
So they can keep the revenue
Yeah.
that they need while not having to worry about staffing and capacity issues and whatever else they may be groveling with on the back end. But the problem this didn't solve for that CPA was, I want to keep my employees.
Yeah, exactly. So if they say, okay, well, I still want to maintain my employees, but I still need somebody to kind of make sure that everything, the quality is being churned out that needs to, then we have a solution for that. We'll just do the review process. So all of our clients get multiple reviews, like you said, and they get reviews.
Let's explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So
with us, they don't just get a bookkeeper.
Exactly.
They're getting a whole team.
They get a whole team. So they get the accountant who is assigned to their team, and they manage their account and does the majority of the work, and they're most familiar with their account. There's an admin person who kind of moves documents and makes sure that everything's in line where it needs to be. There's always something that can be done from an administrative side. Then from there is a reviewer. So the reviewer goes in every month, completely separate from the accountant, and does a complete checklist of a review and basically double checks everything to make sure it all balances out before any reports get sent out
because
to the client.
We balance out every balance sheet item to source documents.
Yeah.
This sets us apart.
Yeah, and exactly. And if that's not done, then we start over. We get it done, and we don't...
We figure it out.
We don't stamp it until it's done.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So then what we will do for that review support is you keep your employees do the accounting work, we just do the reviews. We go in, we go through all of everything, we make sure everything balances the way it should be and that there's source documents and everything that there should be. We ensure that the clients get the quality, the highest quality bookkeeping service that they can, but your firm continues to do the majority of the accounting work.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other problem that she was concerned with is, okay, yes, I'm keeping my employees, but they don't really seem to know what they're doing. So then we had another option available.
Yeah. So
which is basically
our highest tier option, which is probably the most exciting to me anyway, where we will come in. We have systems and processes. We have workflows for everything. I mean, there's nothing that doesn't have a workflow. And if there is something that doesn't, we're making a workflow for it. Okay. I have a workflow to make workflows at this point. So that being said, we're very systemized. Nothing gets missed as much as possible, right?
I'm a little, I was going to say anal. Can I say anal on this?
Yeah, if you can't.
I'm OCD when it comes to having checklists and processes.
Which, you know what? Anal is exactly the word I'd want to use to describe my bookkeeper. Let's be honest, right? If you're going to have somebody be that pedantic, I want it to be my bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So there we go. Anyway. So we have this beautiful workflow process that we go through. So what we'll do is we can come in, we can train your team on and we'll start from the beginning, right?
This is a football,
right? We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
That famous coach.
Vince Lombardi, right? Is that
and a famous speech about this is the football. So we start with basics, right? This is what needs to be done all the way through the Sakline process, and then all the way through executing and getting the clients onboarded. And that's not just how we do client work, right? It's also how we manage all of it, how we communicate with clients. Our clients on a weekly basis, they get work on. That's
the team member I think we forgot to mention is our client relationship person.
Oh yeah, our client relationship person.
Another person on our team.
On every single team. And so they get communicated with on a regular basis. We basically some clients don't want to meet on a regular basis, so we're like, okay, at least once a quarter, like you need to meet with us. They get a weekly email that goes through everything that we did, tells them everything that we need and any questions that we have. And then again, they get another email every month that goes through the month summary and gives them all of that. Plus, they get a video recap. Our client relationship specialist sends a video every month going through some financial information for them. And then if there's anything in particular that they're trying to keep an eye on, we'll address that as well, depending on what them and their tax preparer are working on. So we teach them all of that from start to finish. And then we'll manage the review processes. I would say for at least a little bit of time to make sure that the quality is there. We would love it to be long-term, though, where we're doing all of the reviews.
The idea being that this full-blown, what we call this white glove service, is we're coming in to train your team, to set up your workflows, to set up the processes, to get your department running like a well-oiled machine. And then from there, reviewing on the back end for work going forward to ensure that it's actually being accomplished. So essentially managing the department for you.
Yeah.
And we're there for the support and the, whatever questions are needed. So they're not going to the CPA all the time with those questions or issues, but we're the ones putting out those fires.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a complete white label bookkeeping department management solution, basically.
And that basically for her was solving the problem of you get to keep your revenue, you get to keep your employees, and you get to keep the quality. And those were the three big pain points that she couldn't figure out how to solve.
Yeah. And so
now we're doing them.
Now we're doing that.
Because basically once we were able to solve the pain points, she was ready.
And it was like a light bulb went off, right? When we presented this to her, it was like, you handled everything that I was worried about. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
We're pretty excited about it. Yeah.
It's very exciting, obviously. I mean, that was the goal, right? Figure out how we can solve these pain points and it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
They grow. And now she's like, shoot, I can grow this so much bigger. I didn't want to grow my bookkeeping department before. I was trying to hide it.
And she's actively turning away business, right? I don't have the capacity. And now we're going, because we meet on a regular basis still, obviously. And now as we're going through this, there's always these comments of like, oh, I need to reach out to so-and-so because they wanted us to do their books. And I told them no. And so now they get to revisit that conversation. So it really is also boosting her brand and her confidence. Yeah. Now she can go into a client meeting without any concern. Right. She knows exactly what's going on. She gets a summary of what's going on every account.
We're over-communicating.
We communicate. If a client says something or if we see something that happened on the books that we think the tax preparer should know, they do know. So she gets to go into all of those meetings with the utmost confidence. So it's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. And I'm glad now that we came up with these solutions to now present to CPAs on a regular basis. And I would say the feedback we've gotten so far has been very positive. Because this is, as I've said, something I've heard over and over and over. I guess never until $500,000 of revenue was presented to me did I ever think I need to really figure out something that solves all these problems.
We need to solve this today. and to your point, so we made some basic postcards. I made basic postcards that kind of described all of this really like quickly too. Yeah. So it's not the best one. But we took it with us to a conference that we went to and handed out a few. And the response we got just from the idea was astronomical. Yeah, people were, hey, this is a great idea. Let's connect. So this is going to go pretty far. And we're really excited about it. And it's really solving, the reason why it works so well is because it's really solving their biggest problems, at least from this area, from their bookkeeping side of their business. It's really solving that problem for them.
Now, I will say we're not going to fit in everybody's wheelhouse, even for CPAs, because I call us the In-N-Out Burger of bookkeeping services, right? In-N-Out Burger, they have, 4 or 5 things on their menu? Like, you're not going to go there to get a chicken sandwich.
No.
They do not have chicken. Nope. You know, this is not the Cheesecake Factory where you have a book of a menu, right? We are definitely the In-N-Out Burger. We know what we are. We know the demographic we serve. We only do after-the-fact bookkeeping, for example.
Yeah.
So we're not billing clients. We're not paying bills. We're not even processing payroll.
Yeah.
We'll book the payroll. We'll book all the bills after they've run through the bank.
Yeah.
But we're not doing any live bookkeeping. So that would be an example of where we're staying in our lane. And so I spoke to a CPA firm the other day. Another area where we're In-N-Out Burger is we're only remote. And this CPA firm that I met with, they're actually going to the client's office.
That's true.
And they're providing in-person services. and they're processing the payroll and paying the bills. Like they're like a full-blown everything to their client in terms of bookkeeping, live and after the fact and in person.
Yeah.
We're not going to be a good fit for that scenario because we only offer remote. We're all over the United States. So, it's just not logistically feasible.
Yeah.
We're only remote and we're only after the fact. So those are two things that could preclude a CPA firm if they really want to do those in-person, full, white glove, live bookkeeping services. We wouldn't be a good fit.
We would not be a good fit. However, if they want help converting from that to an after-the-fact remote
situation,
because there's a lot that are in that situation that have those clients that they know they don't have to go in person. I hear that too. We'll help you get that conversion done.
Yeah,
so that
absolutely.
so that it can be handled remotely. So we help as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, and then the other scenario is some of these CPAs I've realized do not know their own value.
Yes. I didn't know how to put that. So you said that very eloquently. Yeah.
And so if a CPA is not charging what they're worth, in some cases, we actually are charging more than what the CPA is charging.
Blows my mind.
It does.
Blows my mind.
So if they're undervaluing themselves, then when we walk in the door, for a retail client that comes to us directly, we're charging $95 an hour. Well, if the CPA is charging $50, we're not going to be a good fit in this scenario because you're going to be actually losing money unless you significantly raise your prices.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a situation where we wouldn't be a good fit.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to increase and actually charge what you're worth, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's another scenario where we may not be a good fit for a CPA firm. But if they're willing to charge what they're worth, be a remote situation, and do after the fact, we got a lot of solutions.
We do. We have a lot of solutions for them.
And it's exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the ones that we are a good fit for, they're excited about this.
Yeah.
They're excited about the possibilities of, hey, I can get this off my plate. It's going to free up so much time not having to manage this. I've been offered so many jobs, Jeffrey.
I heard it happen the other day.
I get offered jobs regularly when I talk to these CPAs that ask me if I can just come run their accounting or bookkeeping. I've even been offered equity positions in the firm if I would come partner with them and run their accounting bookkeeping department. So this is how much of an issue it is because they acknowledge this is an area where we need some good oversight.
Yeah.
But they usually are not the ones that want to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're 100% right. And it's a lot of times that's just not. And for most CPAs, I would say, especially for CPAs specifically, it's not usually worth their time if they're valuing themselves the way they should. I'm constantly telling people that a good CPA is charging anywhere between $350, $500 an hour, maybe more.
I met with my CPA the other day, and it was $450 for an hour meeting.
This is what I'm saying. So
she knows her worth.
She knows her worth. And so, but however, even if they were to charge $150 an hour for bookkeeping, $200 an hour for bookkeeping, it's still not worth as much as their time is worth.
Right.
So a lot of times it's just not worth their time necessarily.
Right. And I will say that what that CPA said in that hour-long meeting saved us thousands of dollars.
We talked about that, huh? Yeah.
Because there was strategy in there about here's how to set things up so that you can save thousands of dollars on your taxes.
Oh, she paid for herself.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. A good CPA will pay for themselves.
$50 meeting to save thousands on taxes.
Yeah.
Just by making a few adjustments to the way we're doing things.
Yeah.
That's exactly where most CPAs want to be.
Exactly.
They want to be in the room saving their clients money. They don't want to be bogged down answering questions about where to code office supplies. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a necessary evil, right? They can't do their job unless they have a good set of books. Right. So, I see why they might get into the weeds, but this is a good way to kind of get themselves out of it. We offer them the helicopter out.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. So more to come on this, but
Absolutely.
we'll continue expanding. We have a lot of interest in this situation specifically. So
And this CPA that we've been talking about, this has been the first white label type situation.
we've offered this before.
Where, well, what I'm saying that you've run, that you've been like as your new role in this operational role, and she loves you. Like, she was asking me, where did you find Jeffrey? She adores you.
Yeah.
So I think it's going well so far.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And it is, it's really the team. I mean, you've built an amazing team of people. So it's really just about finding, getting everybody on the same page. And honestly, they're killing it.
We should talk about that too. How do we get such a great team? It's because we're offering a fully remote position that they can work from home.
A very flexible schedule.
Very flexible.
It's not 100%, but it's very fluid.
They do have to be available sometimes during business hours, but for the most part, if they want to work in their pajamas at 2 a.m.,
do it.
Go for it.
Do it. Yeah.
And we don't need to know when they're picking up kids or going to the doctor. Like at first, my employees were trying to. I'm like, I don't care.
I don't care. Go and live your life. Put in your time and make sure your clients are happy.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. Take care of your clients, and we're good.
Yeah. Go and live your life. And so that is a huge draw.
Yeah.
Right. So that alone. But then not only that, we offer great benefits.
Absolutely.
Health benefits.
That's something we should mention too. Our employees, once they get past that initial working interview, like an initial phase, they're 1099.
Yeah.
And we're checking them out to see, okay, do we like them? Are they going to be a good fit? Once we decide they're a good fit and we want them in the long term, they are W-2 employees, and everyone is here in the U.S. We're not outsourcing out somewhere.
Yeah.
But the reason we've been able to attract some great talent and some experienced people that care about their job, care about their clients, is because they're getting a W-2 job with benefits that's fully flexible and fully remote.
And vacation time, holiday time. I mean, it's better than any benefits I've gotten, and I've worked for some good companies.
I think.
Yeah. We have CPAs applying to these roles, so it's good. Yeah, and they pay well.
And because my vision was I want to be the employer that I never had.
Yeah.
And that primarily for me translates to, obviously I've mentioned, I need to work on the fluff. So when I say the employer that I always wish I had, just leave me alone is what I mean. Give me the freedom to live my life.
Yeah.
To me, that was the employer I always wanted and never had.
Yeah.
Just let me do whatever the heck I want, and I'll work for you, and I'll go to bat for you, and I'll work hard for you, but leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's why we work together so well, because we have that same foundational belief and that value of put your employees up there. Like, they're first. Like, take care of your people, and they'll take care of you. And so right now we're seeing people, in the country, people getting laid off, benefits are getting cut, and we're like, no, not happening. We need our people to be happy so that they can take care of our clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I do not leave my employees alone when it comes to quality of our work. Obviously, that I have a high standard with.
But been checked 3 times, so obviously.
Yes. And, my team will tell you I'm very OCD when it comes to the naming conventions of our files.
That is my favorite argument ever. I love that conversation. And I tell new people as I'm helping onboarding them, I'm like, just so you know, this may seem unimportant. This is one of the most important things you will do.
If I open a file folder of client documents and it doesn't look beautifully in line, because all of our naming conventions should start exactly the same way. The date in a specific format, the client code, and then we have a very specific order of operations from there of how it should be named. And if it doesn't look that way, I'm like,
and we got to start over.
We got to have a conversation here. We're going to rename these documents.
Yeah, that's what we're doing today. Yeah, so, it's that balance. We definitely give them the freedom to run their book of business during the times that they need, but definitely it ultimately falls on us.
We do not compromise on the quality. That is something that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we've been able to attract this great talent is because we've been giving them the freedom and the flexibility to have the work-life balance that they've probably always wanted to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been important to me.
Yeah.
And I more or less want them to feel like they are it's kind of the king of their own domain, that they can set their schedule and live their life and pick up their kids and do what they need to do and it not feel like work is running them, you know?
Yeah.
So, and we have a rigorous hiring process.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I was going to mention they have to really want the job.
Yes.
So you mentioned that they have a working interview process. But before that even happens, there's several assessments they have to do. So there's an assessment to submit the job application. There's a couple of basic assessments there just to make sure that they actually have worked in accounting before.
Yes.
And then they have to record a video of themselves answering a question.
Yeah.
So that's the first round of the interview, really, is that video. And then once they've gone through that process, then there's a much deeper, intense assessment that we send them a link to.
I want to talk about this.
Okay, yeah.
I got this from a CPA who told me she did this.
Oh, really?
And as soon as she told me, I said, will you please send this to me? I need this.
Yeah.
She was nice enough to do it. It is an Excel file of raw data.
Yeah.
Just straight up raw data that's not even formatted or anything.
It is ugly. Yeah.
They have to figure out as part of this assessment how to set up a QuickBooks Online account, how to import that raw data into QuickBooks, how to code it, how to reconcile the bank accounts, how to create the financial statements, and then they send it to us as if we are the client raising any questions or concerns about those books.
And there are some planted questions and concerns that we hope they catch.
Yeah, right.
And we also want to make sure they're communicating with the client well, because we're the client. So how they present this, what reports do they include in there, if any? Like, these are all little things that we want to see if they're going to have that forethought.
Absolutely.
So, and it takes time. Like, this is not very quick. So, and we warn people when before they apply, they're told, here's the whole process from start to finish. Here's how long we anticipate it will take you. But here's the benefits of doing it. And we have no shortage of applicants.
We get a lot of
applicants
that are willing, and I think it's because of what we're offering, that they're willing, because there's so many steps. Yeah. And all of that's before they even get to an interview.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they don't even talk to us. And that part's done.
Yeah, that's our gate, basically, of, okay, if they get through all of that. Now, if they get through that final assessment that I just talked about, which usually takes an hour to 2 hours long, they're going to get an interview.
They will get an interview.
Because I'm like, if they went through all that, even if it didn't look so good at that point, I'll at least talk to them.
Because we do have room in the company for people who are not very experienced accountants, but we can still have them help with some easy things and then give them the training. Like, again, we want to invest in our people. Yeah. Just as much as they'll invest in us. So if they want to learn it, we'll teach them. Yeah. We'll show them.
Yeah.
But if they have the right attitude. So then usually after that assessment, they'll meet with me and I'll do the culture fit interview.
Yeah.
Because that's top importance for me. So if I don't think they're going to jive well with the company or have the right attitude, then it's not going to work out. But then after they've gone through all of that, which is a fun interview, by the way, I'm not mean.
We're fun people, Jeffrey. We're fun people.
And once they've gone through all that, then they'll meet with me and you at the end, where you'll dig into their accounting knowledge and assess their abilities.
The more technical stuff.
Yes, deep technical stuff.
And then, or only then, do they get to the working interview. So it's a process.
Yeah. You know what I love, though, is a lot of our applicants, actually, because we've hired a few people since I've started, some of our best performing newer employees were ones who came to us and said, I actually liked this because it was a rigorous process. They said it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Where they said that they kind of enjoyed it and they knew how serious we are based on how much we put them through. Because a lot of people just post it and then they'll never respond to their applicants or whatever, and they end up just wasting a bunch of time. But it made them confident in how intense or how dedicated we are to our process.
Do you think that was just a BS interview thing?
I don't think so. Even if that was true, they are one of our top performing producers right now. Okay. So even if it was.
Okay. All right. If someone said that to me in an interview, maybe I was there and I just
thought, you were there.
Really? Wow. Memory is just not good.
Well, anyway, but I've heard it a few times, more than just once, by the way. I've heard other people say this, so I think they do appreciate it more than you know.
I'd probably be sitting there going, I feel like you're just BSing it right now.
Hey,
I
you know
don't
what?
think anyone actually likes going through this.
Yeah, you know what? Some people do. Right now, we're getting ready to do a train. So I was cracking up. I've never really worked with a bunch of accountants full time. And we're talking about a training that we want to put everybody through on some accounting platform and teaching them all of these things. And everybody's super excited to learn how to do these reconciliations. And I find it hilarious. Like they are excited though about it. Yeah, the book to tax reconciliation. Yeah. But they're excited. They're like, I can't wait to learn this. And I'm like, if this is what gets you guys going, I can teach you all, get people to teach you all kinds of stuff.
Well, and this is one thing I'm really passionate about too, is investing in our people and making sure that they're, where they want to be career-wise and in their training, and also making sure that our people are very highly experienced. And this is something, the book to tax reconciliation, essentially they would have to know how to read a tax return in order to do it. And that's why not just any bookkeeper off the street knows how to do this.
Yeah.
And a lot of our team is not experienced enough to be able to read a tax return with that level of
detail
experience to be able to submit that. So we have a team member that used to work for a CPA firm. She's awesome. She's going to train the rest of the team, and here's what to do with all these different kinds of returns we have. Most of them are 1120S. We've got some 1065, sometimes Schedule C. So she's going to go through each one. Here's how to read the tax return. Here's what you're looking at. We're going to compare it, because we do this on an annual basis. When the tax return's done, we're comparing it to the books to make sure it ties. And there's almost never does. It almost never does, right? And that's not that anything was wrong. It's just we need to understand, what did the taxpayer do? And sometimes it's simply because the business owner, for strategic reasons, doesn't want to claim everything because they want to show more profit on their tax return. So sometimes it's a completely valid reason as to why not everything is on the tax return. Sometimes it's a governmental regulation that they can't. Like, for example, meals oftentimes they're only able to deduct up to 50%. So only half of the value will be on the tax return, but the entire amount will be on the books. So sometimes there's completely legitimate reasons why it doesn't tie, but we need to be able to explain it. And that's what we're doing essentially, is anytime it doesn't tie, comparing the two, we have a note explaining why it doesn't tie. Yeah. But we have caught errors.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's just one of the ways we partner with our tax preparers. Again, I mean, because a lot of tax preparers, I don't want to say a lot, some do book to tax reconciliations at the end of every year. Most would like that, even if they don't have time. So that's where we can step in and offer that as an additional value to them.
Yeah. One error I know for sure we've caught before is where the financials were done with accrual basis.
Oh, no.
And the tax was submitted as a cash basis, but it was using the numbers from an accrual report.
Got it.
And so they ended up overpaying quite significantly because the accrual numbers were about $100,000 more in profit than their cash numbers. So the amendment actually helped them significantly to get some refunded money, but that was a big error. That was just a simple clerical error of not pushing tax report instead of an accrual report. So sometimes we can catch things that are legitimately erroneous.
Yeah. I love it.
So this is one of the ways that we add value at Sakline. And soon our whole team will know how to do it.
Yeah. And to my point, they're excited about it. So, which I find interesting.
That's accountants for you.
That's accountants.
I mean, accountants are a different breed. I feel like I'm a unicorn because even though I have my accounting degree, I really gravitate towards more sales and talking to people. And that is highly unusual for someone that...
I would agree.
But I think it's because I wasn't really truly an accountant.
Yeah.
Like I went through it. I know how to do it. I'm good at it, but it's not my passion.
Yeah.
It's not where I want to be all day.
Yeah.
So
you'd much rather be talking to CPAs about their struggles.
Right.
And yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So, but I feel grateful that I kind of a little bit diverse in that way, that I understand it. And
because we pull you in for problems. Sometimes we're like, hey, Lindsay, like, check this out. What do you think we should do? So it's not that you completely escape it, but it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get my CPA one day.
And
Texas actually just changed the requirement.
I'm pushing for this.
I don't know if you've heard of this. Well, you probably did, because I think I sent you the Wall Street Journal article that was talking about how there is such a need for accountants. There are people, not only are all the baby boomers starting to retire, but now a lot of people are leaving the accounting field. And so there is a huge shortage already, even before all the baby boomers have retired, huge shortage of accountants. So, I feel like this is more opportunity for us because we're going to continue attracting and hopefully building into the accounting people and they're not going to want to leave. That's our goal.
Yeah.
They're going to be happy in their jobs. They're going to love what they do. So we're going to continue attracting them. I never want to turn business away because of capacity issue. So
nor will we ever.
We're going to stay ahead of that.
Yeah.
So if you have a shortage problem, come see us.
Yeah.
We got you.
Absolutely. And please reach out to us. We love having quick conversations with people, see if maybe this would be a good fit or if one of our solutions could be a good fit for your business. Reach out to us. We can go through it and see what seems to make the most sense for you and your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please, if you're a CPA firm, and you'd like to talk about different ways we can help, please call us.
Yeah.
Please email us, whatever. Get on our website, Sakline.com. We got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, this is Lindsay Klein with Sakline, honest, accurate bookkeeping performed on time.
And this is Jeffrey Gonzalez with Sakline and also Payroll Guru. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Or accounting professional to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal or accounting matter, and should refrain from acting on the basis of this information without first seeking legal advice from counsel in the relevant jurisdiction. Only your individual attorney or accountant can provide assurances that the information contained herein and your interpretation of it is applicable or appropriate to your particular situation.